already know. It's the galactic one. L. We back cracking spells. Shout out to all the galactic guardians, 720 degrees. Shout out to the whole URO, everybody living in that universal right order. Shout out to the House of Consciousness, House of Consciousness, Connecticut chapter. The message being brought to you by K.O.R TV, Kingdom of Righteousness TV. The show is called Wake Up Sheeple. Y'all already know how we do. I'm about to jump right into the demonstration. I'll share to all the great prophets, ancestors, haters, messiahs, messengers who came before, making that platform available so we could be here today, giving you the message. You know what I'm saying? I'll share. Jumping right into the demo. We're gonna do this new Black Sunday School. We got a special edition for y'all today. We're doing a new Black Sunday School, and we're gonna talk about basically, since we're on this Jewish stuff, you know what I'm saying? We keep talking about these people who are these so-called Jews, which is Ashkenazis, right? Ashkenazi Jews. And we want to address, you know, who are these Israelites, right? And where do they really come from? So we're going to backtrack, right? Because they more like saying they God's chosen people, right? But what God are they really talking about? You know, so as we backtrack, we're going to, you know, dig up a few things, do an examination of what they're saying as these Jews. So the Jews, we're gonna go backwards. The Jews, we know it's Israelites. The Israelites go back into Palestine. Palestine goes back into the hyksos, right? So somehow there's a connection between the hyksos that came and invaded Egypt to these so-called Ashkenazi Jews today that we say are the Israelites, right? And so now, these Leviticus priests that you see in your Bible, the tribe of Levi, these were the people that went into Egypt and got all the teachings and all the, you know, mysteries, the Egyptian mysteries and things like that. These are the ones that plagiarized the story, that converted the story with the characters, etc. and all of that. These Levite priests, right? And so the Levites is part of the Hyksos dynasty, you know what I'm saying? And so you got to understand what we call Pa-Hekakasu. Pa-Hekakasu, the Hyksos, right? They ruled a certain specific area we call Hutwadavadis. Hutwadavadis is the area that they specifically ruled in when we say they took over Egypt and blah, 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 and all of that. Well, it was a certain specific geographic and location called Hutwadavadis is where they was at, basically, right? And they only ruled for a specific amount of time. It wasn't like they ruled forever. So, the dynasties that they claim they ruled was the 15th and 16th dynasty, where this invasion takes place. Sekenaru was the ruler at the time, and he had a son named, his eldest son named Kamos was the one who actually fought them in the beginning, and then followed up by Atmos, son of Ebanon, and them. That was from the 18th dynasty, but the first Atmos and the second Atmos chased them out of there by the 17th and 18th dynasty, pushed them on to the burning sands. They end up landing back in a land called Palestine. So this is why these Hyksos people are basically a mixture of what we call Syrians, which is also the old great serpent. That old serpent is synonymous to white Syrians, you know what I'm saying? And so even the Bible breaking down that when they had a war in the heavens and all that's synonymous to these Hyksos people invading Egypt. It's just another breakdown. But you have to look at it with 4 or 5 D-Heru lenses in order to see that this is a Commission breakdown or a Kemetic lens to see the, you know, the story, you know, being dragged and plagiarized into their fit their paradigm, right? And so, like I said, you get this 14th and 15th and 16th dynasty where they come in and you can see the names changing from Seshes or Seshi. That name is a Greek or a Hyksos name, you know what I'm saying? You get the name like Maiber and Yakabur and all that, Yakabah and Yakab. These type of names are what you call Hyksos names, because I told you when we ran them out, they became Palestinian and Syrians mixed, and that's how they changed Palestine into Israel way back then, right? So understand, Isaac and Rebecca, Ra-Ba-Ka, you feel me? Isaac and Saul and Rebecca end up making a seed where they get Jacob, you know what I mean, Jacob. And this Jacob is basically where you get this Joseph character at. Joseph would be in your Bible is this basically Poppy the First, and a Poppy the First in your Bible, you know what I'm saying? When Joseph ruled Egypt and all this stuff, that's the Poppy dude from Egypt. You feel what I'm saying? If you look up the Poppy, then he came in and tried to change the way they was ruling, right? So they was ruling and following a certain path where they was on the hippopotamus. Tarawat is the hippopotamus, the symbol in the center of the Dendara star map, which was a feminine symbol because it represented the goddess of childbirth. And the Greeks at the time, they hated femininity. They hated women. This is why your Bible story, this is women all the time. So they took out that symbol of the hippopotamus because it represented that mitochondrion DNA of the women, you know, that fertility of the women, the ability to give birth like that. And they took that out. They wanted to remove that from the star map that the Egyptians had, and the worship, or not the worship, but just to kind of give praise of in the acknowledgement of the hippopotamus as the mitochondria, as the woman coming before man, basically. You know what I'm saying? This is what they wanted to take away. And so you have to understand that, you know, like I said, Joseph would be a Poppy the First. You know what I'm saying? And the hippopotamus, the holy hippopotamus, is what Joseph was trying to remove out of the Cometians following and paths that they was on at that time. You know what I'm saying? So always remember that the Greeks hated women, they revered women, and this is why they were the first ones of homosexuality. Greeks and Romans are the father of homosexuality. But all this ties in, like I said, to get your Ashkenazi Jew today, these people who call themselves Israelites and stuff like that. Well, these are the beings that's linked to those same Hyksos dynasty people who were once in Egypt in the 15th and 16th dynasty through people like Seshi and Meyer and Jacober and Jacob and things like that. Those names, etc., was showing you how this is where they invaded at. But we ran them out through Kamos, Atmos, and things like that. These were beings that took their asses up out of there and ran them up out of there. So this is just giving you a brief analogy so you can get a better understanding on, you know, the Hyksos being linked to the Greeks being linked to the Romans being linked to the, you know what I'm saying? Breaking it down so you can trickle down and see how these whites in America right now today, it's even linked to all of that. You know what I'm saying? What we call the Israelites today and stuff like that. So make sure you get in tune. It's another galactic glorious day of New Black Sunday School. I hope this information was helpful and not harmful and didn't cause any confusion. If you got any questions, if you feel free to hit me up. Y'all know where y'all can find me. You know what I'm saying? It's been another galactic glorious day. Peace.